Hey guys, we're going to learn about some fractions today. So here we go. Okay, a fraction. Can you think of what we learned about when we learned about fractions? Fractions are whenever we use our equal parts, right? So fractions have equal parts. So we're going to start by drawing a picture. Okay, so I'm going to draw 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay, those are pretty equal for my drawing. You know, we struggle there sometimes. Okay, so if we circled 3 of these, how many rectangles, if we had to write a fraction, what would we write for how many rectangles are circled? Okay, so first we would need to count our total amount of rectangles, right? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Because remember, our denominator, we say it really low, denominator, remember? Super low, say it silly. We always put that on the bottom. So we're gonna write denominator and label it, right? Oh, I spelled that wrong. Denominator. And then remember, numerator is what the question's asking for, right? So the numerator is how many it's asking for us to represent, right? So how many do we have circled? 1, 2, 3. So our numerator is on the top. Remember, we always say it really high. Numerator. Okay, so we have our numerator and our denominator, and your numerator is what the question is asking. Question and then the total, right? So you can always remember, numerator is what the question's asking for. Your denominator is the total. So our total is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And we're trying to figure out how many were squared in or circled, and that is 3. Okay, but remember, we also know unit fractions. Think in your head, what is a unit fraction? Right, a unit fraction is 1 part. Unit fraction is just 1, right? So we're going to write unit fraction is 1 part. Okay, so let's write a unit fraction for this picture. What was our total? Remember, our denominator stays the same for unit fractions, right? So our denominator is 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And then for a unit fraction, what goes on top? Does 3 go on top? No, because that's what we have up here. Unit fraction is 1 part. So 1 goes on top for a unit fraction, right? Very good. Okay, so that's one part of fractions. Okay, now let's look at some other examples, okay? If we were to draw fractions like a pizza, right? We can draw a circle and we can make that into fractions, right? So if we drew a circle and we had a few small pieces in there, but we have these 2 big pieces. Can we make a fraction out of that? No, right? Because it has to have equal parts. And is this equal to this? It's not, is it? This piece is much bigger than this piece. Okay, so let's try to draw a fraction using a circle, but let's have equal parts, okay? So if we draw our circle, it's pretty equal. Okay, let's count our total number of pieces to get our denominator, right? So we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So what's my denominator? 6. My total, right? Okay, and then my numerator, if we were to shade in 1, How many did I shade in? 1, 2, 3. So my question said, how many did I shade in? And our question is always the numerator, right? So our question is asking how many we shaded in. How many did we? 3. That's right. So our numerator and our denominator, right? Very good. Okay. Now, if we colored in every piece, what was our denominator? We had 6 pieces, right? Okay, and how many do we have colored in? That's what goes on top, right? Okay, so 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Every one of these is colored in. Okay, but remember, when we have the same number on top as we do on bottom, what does it always equal? 1 whole. Very good. So 6 over 6 equals 1 whole. Anytime the same number is on top as it is on bottom, you equal 1 whole. Okay, let's represent it a few more ways. So we could have some numbers, and we could have, we're just going to number them out. 2, 3, 2, 4, 2. Okay, we're going to figure out how many 2s, okay? So what are we looking for? We're looking for how many 2s are in this, in these numbers, right? Okay, so let's count our total. How many total numbers do we have? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So is that my numerator or my denominator? My total number. Denominator, that's right. Okay, so that's our denominator. Okay, and then how many 2s? So we need to count how many 2s we have, right? 1, 2, 3. So what's my numerator? 3. Very good. Okay, so how easy was that? We just found our fraction for how many 2s are represented in this number line, right? We have our numbers, and then we found that our numerator answers our question. Awesome, guys. We're going to practice some more videos later on, but I hope